This is from the National Post. Military leaders saw the pandemic as a unique opportunity to test propaganda on Canadians. Plan devised by the Canadian Joint Operations Command relied on propaganda techniques similar to those employed during the Afghan War. What did I say 8 months ago? That this is very, very fucking similar to what we would do to enemy countries we were invading. Did I not say that? Show of hands. Who fucking remembers me saying that exact fucking phrase? This is psychological warfare. What I'm seeing in the media, in the news, what's being done, this is psychological warfare. This is what we do to people we're at war with. Yup. And that's exactly what happened. And it was our own military's idea. Lieutenant General Mike Rouleau, pictured here. The federal government never asked for the so-called Information Operations Campaign. Allegedly, if that can be believed, who knows? Nor did any cabinet authorize the initiative developed during the COVID-19 pandemic by Canadian Joint Operations Command, then headed by Lieutenant General Mike Rouleau. But military commanders believed they didn't need to get approval from higher authorities to develop and proceed with their plan. Retired Major General Daniel Gosselin, who was brought in to investigate the scheme, concluded in his report. The propaganda plan was developed and put in place in April 2020, even though the Canadian Forces has already acknowledged that information operations and targeting policies and doctrines are aimed at adversaries and have a limited application in a domestic concept. A copy of the investigation, as well as other related documents, was obtained by this newspaper using the Access to Information Law. The plan devised by the Canadian Joint Operations Command, also known as CJOC, relied on propaganda techniques similar to those employed during the Afghanistan War. The campaign called for the shaping and exploiting of information. CJOC claimed the information operations scheme was needed to head off civil disobedience by Canadians during the coronavirus pandemic and to bolster government messages about the pandemic. A separate initiative, not linked to the plan, but overseen by Canadian Forces intelligence officers, called information from public social media accounts in Ontario. They spied on you. Data was also compiled on peaceful BLM gatherings, and BLM leaders, senior military officers claimed that information was needed to ensure the success of Operation Laser, the Canadian Forces' mission to help out in long-term care homes. We were trying to protect Grandma. That's why we spied on you and used propaganda against our own people. Brainwashed your own people, your parents, your friends, your family. And to aid in the distribution of vaccines in some northern communities. BLM organizers have questioned why military officials gathered information on their initiative, pointing out they followed pandemic rules and did not hold any gatherings outside LTC homes. Then Chief of Defense Staff General Jonathan Vance shut down the propaganda initiative after a number of his advisors questioned the legality and ethics behind the plan. Vance then brought in Gosselin to examine how the CJOC was able to develop and launch the propaganda operation without approval. Brings into question how and why exactly. What is going on with John Vance anyway? What in the fuck is going on up there? Gosselin's investigation discovered the plan wasn't simply the idea of passionate military propaganda specialists, but support for the use of such information operations was clearly a mindset that permeated the thinking at many levels. Those in the command saw the pandemic as a unique opportunity to test out such techniques on Canadians. They used weaponized psychological operations and propaganda against our own people, against you, against me, to help the government. They lied. And they didn't even need to ask them to do it. They just did it. Forgive me for being beside myself here for a minute. There's ongoing debate inside National Defense Headquarters in Ottawa about the use of the information operations techniques. Some public affairs officers, intelligence specialists, and senior planners want to expand the scope of such methods in Canada to allow them to better control and shape government information that the public receives. Others inside headquarters worry that such operations could lead to abuses, including having military staff intentionally mislead the Canadian public or taking measures to target opposition MPs or those who criticize government or military policy. You mean like me, motherfucker? This isn't communist China! Fuck you! You fucking scum! You blade! How deep is that in my fucking back? We fucking bleed for you. We fucking bury these guys for you. And this is what you fucking do. This is how you treat. I'm you. I'm your fucking brother. Fuck you. Who the fuck do you think you are?